U.S. government is back in business after President Trump signed a short-term measure tonight.
Yeah, but the fight over DACA and the border wall is far from over. KCAL 9 political reporter Bryan is here now with the late developments today.
The good news is federal workers will be going back to work. And do you know that California has more federal employees than any other state in the country? Almost 250,000. All of them, of course, were furloughed. Some Democrats called the short-term funding bill a political surrender for which they got little or no concessions, since the issue of young undocumented immigrants is still in limbo. The bill does include a 6-year extension of the Children's Health Insurance Program. And with growing criticism about closing down the government, others said it was the best they could get right now.
On this vote, the yeas are 266 and the nays are 150.
After a weekend of getting public reaction to the government shutdown, neither the House nor the Senate votes were even close, as both houses quickly passed a bill funding the government until February 8th, just 2.5 weeks, and a promise from the GOP Senate leader Mitch McConnell to put a bill protecting so-called dreamers up for debate and a vote starting February 9th.
This immigration debate will have a level playing field at the outset, and an amendment process that is fair to all sides.
We expect that a bipartisan bill on DACA will receive fair consideration and an up or down vote on the floor. And we, on our side of the aisle, will continue to fight as strongly as we can for the dreamers in the weeks ahead.
But 16 senators from the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, some with their own presidential ambitions, voted no and wanted to hold out for more. California Senator Kamala Harris, whose name has been mentioned in presidential candidate conversations, said McConnell's promise falls far short of an ironclad guarantee.
In my mind, they got nothing.
California has about 250,000 federal employees, more than any other state in the country.
Closed today due to the government shutdown.
And with landmarks shuttered and hundreds of thousands furloughed across the country, most lawmakers said the offer to reopen government was good enough.
There's no way the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats got a better deal than people expected.
Now, McCarthy, Hoyer, Cornyn, and Durbin, 4 leaders from both houses, will have 17 days to put together a plan providing legal status for hundreds of thousands of DACA dreamers. And in the meantime, the finger-pointing and blame-gaming about whose fault it is we got into this mess was still in high gear. And some of it was coming from California elected lawmakers, in one case including a preemptive attack on DACA.
Okay, the shutdown is over, at least temporarily. The American people should pay attention what this was all about. How come the government shut down? I hope the American people pay close attention whose side and who is siding with the American people versus who is siding with foreigners who have come here illegally and letting them suck up scarce funds here in Washington.
After months of Republicans' excuses and extensions, I refuse to be an enabler to the Republicans' failures any longer. This past week once again exposed the utter incompetence of the Republican-controlled government. Now the Trump shutdown will end, but Republicans' wasteful incompetence continues. There's a dark cloud over the Capitol, Mr. Speaker. The Republicans have made their choice.
Now the stage is set for a showdown as early as next month on immigration and the issue of creating national policy for so-called dreamers. The Senate leader has pledged to allow a vote in that chamber after February 8th when the short-term funding bill runs out. But beyond that, there's no promise on any outcome. And oh, by the way, what about getting a federal budget done, huh? What do you think?
Boy, year to year would be
How
nice
about that,
sometime,
huh?
wouldn't it? Those continuing resolutions keep going on and on.
Yeah.
You know, Friday night, I remember how staunchly the Democrats were in having the government shut down for DACA and for some other reasons as well. So why did the Democrats in the end go with the shutdown, and will this hurt them at all going forward?
There's actually a lot of pieces to this puzzle, I think. You know, let's be honest. First of all, the Dems don't have a lot of options to get some attention and make their case in Washington because they don't run anything. And the polls indicated a majority of Americans want the DACA issues to be addressed in a fair fashion. So the Democrats thought they had a good case to make. And the progressive wing of the party were all in on this, including several potential presidential candidates. But when it came to actually closing down the government, the polls are showing that given the choice, more people felt it was important to keep the government running than to resolve the DACA issues. And now here's the kicker. 10 Democrat senators will be running for re-election this year in states that voted for Donald Trump, 5 of them by double digits. So the leadership was getting tremendous pressure to resolve this issue quickly, and they did. Lena, Jeff?
All right.